It's been called a hidden health crisis. New figures this morning have revealed that 1 in 5 adults in the UK are living with diabetes or what's called pre-diabetes. Well, Dr Amir and Dr Hilary join me now and, geez, they must be the highest numbers ever, are they not?
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a crisis. We're at over 12 million people, either with high blood sugar levels, pre-diabetes, or absolutely have got diabetes now. So that's a lot of people,
Really
1 in
is.
5 adults, right?
Huge cost to the NHS, of course, as
Absolutely.
well.
So, you know, there are 6.3 million people living with pre-diabetes. They're not aware of it. They have no symptoms, which is why we need regular checks to screen for it, because all the time they're building up a high risk of developing full-blown diabetes and a high risk of developing those complications down the line, which include heart failure, heart attacks, strokes, sight loss, kidney failure. It's really serious. It's costing 10% of the entire NHS budget.
Right.
And in the next 10 years, if we don't stop this, if we don't find those missing millions who've got pre-diabetes, we're going to be spending about 18 billion on something that could be put back into remission if we identify it and help people to lose weight and get fit again.
So, Amir, there are, of course, 2 different types of diabetes. We should make that clear, shouldn't we?
Yeah, morning. So there's several different types of diabetes, but there's 2 main ones. So type 1 diabetes occurs usually in younger people or children. It's an autoimmune condition where your immune system attacks the pancreas. That's the organ that makes the hormone insulin, and it stops it from making insulin. So your blood sugars go up because the insulin is not there to counteract them, and you get type 1 diabetes. And usually you need insulin injections to correct that. Type 2 diabetes is the more common one. It usually affects adults. It's a combination of genetics and lifestyle factors. You are making enough insulin, but what's happened over time because of those things is that your body's not responding to the insulin as it should do. So your sugars go up even though the insulin is trying to work hard to bring them down. Pre-diabetes, you were talking about there, that's when your sugars are creeping up. And it might be because, again, you've become resistant to the insulin, but they're not high enough to call it diabetes. And that's the time to catch these things, to try and bring everything down. Symptoms for these things, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, do overlap. Tired all the time, drinking a lot of water, passing a lot of urine, lots of infections, all of that can mean that you have diabetes. So I would see a doctor if you've got any of those symptoms.
No, of course. And the thing is, it's a lifestyle thing in certain cases, isn't it? In that type of diabetes, you can actually do a lot of things to help yourself.
You can, and this is the key thing. I've got 5 pillars that I always talk to my patients with diabetes about. So number 1 is a good, balanced diet full of plants. And if you are going to eat meat, fish is the thing to go for. I always say your best friends are berries, walnuts, and fish when it comes to diet. Regular movement, find something you enjoy doing and do it every day. Good quality sleep. This is so hard for so many people, but 7 hours a night, even 1 night of bad sleep can push your sugars up and make you insulin resistant. So over time, your insulin works less efficiently if you're not sleeping well. Get outside in nature. You know I love this. People are more active when they're outside, but their stress levels come down. Stress hormones like cortisol have been linked to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. So get outside. And again, social connections, face-to-face, talk to people. It's really good for your brain, but it's good for your stress, and that helps your insulin work better.
Exactly. So there's things that you can do, which is great.
For sure.
That you can actually do to change things.
Lots of people go into remission and prevent diabetes altogether.
Yeah, if they change their diet and just change their lifestyle, even just a little bit.
Yes.
Now, look, food is obviously very important. You 2 have talked for years and years and years about how a balanced diet is really important. And Amir, we're hearing a lot now about, you know how people were not wanting to have whole, full-fat milk and they were going for, like, you know, skimmed, semi-skimmed, even almond milk, things like that. It seems things have changed.
They have, yeah. Retailers are now reporting higher sales of full-fat milk, proper butter, full-fat yogurt, and less sales of the low-fat versions. Now, just as a recap, full-fat milk is the milk that hasn't had its fat removed. It normally contains about 3.25% fat compared to 1% in semi-skimmed and 0.5% in skimmed. All 3 milks have similar amounts of protein, vitamins, and minerals in, but full-fat milk does have more calories. Now, historically, we were told as adults to stay away from full-fat milk because of the amount of saturated fat in, and that could potentially increase your risk of cardiovascular disease. But actually, more recent research suggests that this might not be as tightly thought of as we thought back then, and it may actually not increase your risk, and it may have even a positive effect on your cholesterol. More research is needed, but what I would say is if you're otherwise healthy, don't have cardiovascular disease or risk factors for cardiovascular disease, you can enjoy full fat milk as part of a balanced diet. If you do have those things, maybe opt for semi-skimmed or skim milk and get your fats from healthy versions like plants, olive oil, nuts and seeds.
Right, exactly. It's that thing, isn't it, Hilary, about balance in all things. But fruit has been getting a bit of a bashing. Now, I never quite know what to do, because on one hand, people say, oh, you've got to eat loads and loads of fruit, and then some experts will say, oh, there's too much sugar in it. Yeah, what do we do?
We definitely need more fruit and vegetables in our diet. And fruit is a source of natural sugar, fructose, but it's contained within fibre, and it's the fibre element that's so healthy for us. So we don't want added sugar. We don't want to put sugar in our drinks, and we don't want to drink sugary drinks. But in fruit, the fructose is a healthy way of consuming some carbohydrate. It's wrapped up in fibre, so it's slow-release energy. It's also got antioxidants, it's got vitamins, it's got minerals. Fruit is healthy, you know, so we need to eat more fruit, not less. So that idea is a false one. We need more fruit. Fruit's good for us.
Fruit is good for us. Hurrah, hurrah, because it's lovely. I mean, it is fantastic. We like it. Amir, an awful lot of people, again, you know, you're told one thing, the other. Everybody gets terribly confused. Carbs, you know, a lot of people say, oh, that they are the enemy. We shouldn't be. But actually, is that true?
No, that is false. Carbs are not the enemy. They are an essential food group, and it's your body's main source of energy. But saying that, not all carbs are created equal. You've got complex carbohydrates, things with fibre in, things like whole grains, vegetables and seeds and that kind of thing. They are good. They're slow-release carbs. They keep you fuller for longer, and they provide you with energy over time. The kind of carbs that you want to cut back on are refined or simple carbs. So those are the things like sugary drinks, white bread. They spike your sugars, don't have much nutritional value. So opt for complex carbohydrates over simple ones.
Excellent. It's all about balance.
Looking for more health and wellness content? Well, there's plenty more really useful information right here on our channel. How about you check out this one?